Hello and welcome back to the U Up podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. How are you? What's happening? What's going down?
Someone wrote in the reviews that when I say hello on this podcast in the beginning, that I'm like Mrs. Doubtfire. You know,
hello.
And now it's in my head, and now I will never be able to say it without feeling self-conscious. So thank you to the reviewer. That is actually, Mrs. Doubtfire is actually one of my favorite movies.
Great movie. Also, like, just generational. Like, if Mrs. Doubtfire makes you go, hello, you're a certain age.
Yes.
Right?
Some people do not get it.
Right. If you're Gen Z or like above millennial, if you're Gen X, Gen Z, maybe even Gen X probably does it.
I think Gen X. It's like in the early 90s. I think that's even more their movie than ours.
Is Gen Z as removed as our parents from us? Like,
I think so.
Is that generation just so different? Candace, how old are you?
I'm 29.
Oh, okay. So you're in our,
yeah. Yeah. You're one of the olds. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Yeah.
I'm not one of the olds.
Cusping young.
I'm above a cusp.
Cusping young.
I'm above a cusp.
Okay.
Above a cusp. People, it is weird that like no one wants to be the generation.
Really? We are so completely, or I don't want to say we because you're older than me.
Excuse me.
I am like the quintessential millennial.
You're in the fat part of the bell curve.
Yes, because I think I'm pretty sure the years you have to be born are like 1982 to 1996. I believe.
Is
correct?
That so?
Yes.
I'm 85, so I'm elder millennial.
Yes, you would be an elder. I am like flat in
the median.
Right. So if it's 82 to 96, that means that's 14 years. So 82 plus 7, 89. That is me, smack in the middle of
You
millennial
and my
generation.
brother. That's the millennial. If we were to like your average millennial, you guys are that.
Yes. Well, we always said we talked about this too with like Betches. It's like Betches kind of speaks to many millennials, and I think that's because we are like very much three of us born in that 1989, just like Taylor Swift.
Right.
The four of us.
You are the brand. Well, I mean, Taylor. That's why people connect. Such a wide group connects with Taylor. Like,
yeah.
And that's why such a wide group connects with Betches. Yeah. And yeah, it makes some of these things make sense in a mathematical way that makes you feel small in this great big universe of ours.
Yes.
Like why are things the way? And then you go, well, A plus B equals C.
Exactly. It just makes sense.
You're just a bag in the wind.
Yes.
Hello, Jordana. So what's going on with you?
It's such a good movie. I mean,
it's such a good movie. A movie that maybe couldn't be. I hate saying this.
I don't think it could be made today.
I hate when people say it couldn't be made today because we still watch it today. But I do understand you couldn't make it today. You can watch it today.
Yeah. I mean, as someone who had divorced parents, big fan of comedy and Robin Williams. It was really, I would always do a double take at My Nanny after seeing that movie, just to make sure it wasn't my dad.
Dad? Do I look that bad today?
My brother talks about this all the time. He is an elder millennial as well, and he'll be like, the concept of that movie is so insane. Like he would be arrested. Like immediately.
Right. Like there's a great joke that comedian Mike Racine, he did it on Late Night. Go watch it. Just Google Mike Racine, Mrs. Doubtfire. And the premise is like when she finds out, she goes, the whole time. The whole time. It's a very iconic drive-by fruiting. Yes. A drive-by fruiting is a great. There's also a lot of great lines.
Yes.
But he says the whole time he'd be like, it'd be weird if it wasn't the whole time. Like there's a woman locked up. Mike Racine, he's very funny.
That's so funny.
But if you Google his name and Mrs. Doubtfire, the bit will come up because he did it on. I remember he did it on like a Tonight Show or Conan or something like that. But yeah the movie. I don't know. It's kind of to bring it to dating. There are these things that make you feel comfy, cozy. Mm-hmm. When you say Mrs. Doubtfire, and then
you got it
immediately.
In my head, we both knew.
Like you go. It's nice to feel connected to people. And then you go on a date with someone. Like, that's why when someone is like, I'll mention, I won't mention names, but Nick Vial dating a 20-year-old or whatever the fuck she is. He's our age,
I won't mention names, but
oops. He doesn't want us on his podcast.
oh yeah,
He doesn't want to be the worst person on his own podcast,
he
I
hates
guess.
us,
Yeah, he doesn't want us on. He doesn't want, I don't know. So, but you go,
and we're cool with it.
should we cut that out? I
No,
don't know.
it's fine,
who
whatever.
cares?
I mean, Nick,
We're willing, ready,
what did
and
we
able.
do? Just let us know what we did.
We just want to come on your podcast and steal your audience from you.
Yeah,
That's it. That's how he feels. That's probably
think?
why he won't have us on.
I know. He worked hard for that audience. He went on The Bachelor like 15 times.
Yeah, the guy went to work. Had a
I get
lot of
it.
work done in the
No.
hospital to get those abs.
No, we're definitely not getting on.
Allegedly. He stinks. Won't have us on.
Yeah.
We're coming with the Betches brand. We were willing to trade goods.
Guess what, Nick? We're gonna be on one day.
No.
Whether you know it or not.
This will be on. He'll play this clip and
Yes.
make fun of us or something.
It's a war. We're starting a war.
That's the only way to go, I guess. We got to
why
be
not?
controversial.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah,
try.
but when you date like someone who's 21, I'm 38.
Right.
If I,
What's the youngest you would go?
fuck or date? Two different
Equal-
things.
Give me both. Give me both.
I'm not looking to date someone 27 and below.
Okay.
Date.
Yeah.
It's funny because
27 seems fair.
Raya, this makes me sound stupid or naive, but Raya, I don't think you're allowed. You can't really switch the ages
Okay.
that you're searching. Maybe you can, but I haven't cracked that code. But you get a lot of young, in Raya's a lot of young people. It's just younger. And you'll like, the way I move through an app is the way probably most guys move through a dating app. So, lesson to be learned here. You're moving quick. It's not like you go, and then you like a 25-year-old, you match, you go, what are we going to do? We're not going to talk.
Well,
I don't know.
Is that part of your sex age?
I hate to say yes, but what
is it, 21 plus?
I can't imagine
What?
at 38 having, I can't imagine that.
Too young.
That's too young.
She's too young for you, bro.
Too young for
That's
me, bro.
another reference.
What's that from?
The internet? Too young for you, bro?
Is that a thing?
That's definitely a thing. Yeah.
I think it's a thing just
if
generally.
if she does whatever, she's too young for you, bro.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
on the subject of this conversation.
Are you too old for she's too young for you, bro?
That's how old I am. Jersey Shore.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, if he doesn't know she's too young for you, bro, he might be too old for you.
Yeah. Yeah,
But I think the movie quote thing is it's kind of like people really love that. And I think it's because you feel a sense of comfort, almost like we talk about, someone went to your high school or went to your college.
Right.
You're like, oh, well, this person kind of knows the people I know, the things I know. And knowing a movie quote is sort of a way to do that with someone more random in the world.
Well, to know if they have the same humor as you. That's why we had a couple weeks ago someone being like, I'm a big movie quote person. They're not.
Yes. I mean,
And
that
we
was
were-
a little weird.
Well, we were like, that's a little weird. To me, I think we both kind of came to this conclusion of like, that's a good way to just know that personalities are not matching. You're blaming this very easy thing.
Right.
Oh, it's the movie quotes. No, maybe you two don't just get along. You're not the same.
Right. You're trying to almost make it a black or white thing.
Right. I'm a movie quote person. I'm not a movie quote person. I knew, hello. I knew. I'm not like a whatever. So, yeah, that's why I always think, how do people connect of that differing of ages?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I know I wouldn't.
It always seems like more of the bigger the age gap, the more it seems like a blatant, trade of sex for money. That's usually what it appears to be, the larger the age gap.
Right. I would also argue if I wanted to go deeper.
Yeah.
If I wanted to make, do my do an impression of Dr. Naomi.
Okay. Let's hear it.
I would say an exchange of comfort for status.
Right.
Sex is the dirty, icky way to look at it. I understand. There's also a thing with men of you catch your tiger and put the head on the wall. so to speak.
Say
So
it
there's
in the ickiest way.
right
Yes.
to make it even ickier.
Yes. To not
These-
objectify
no,
anyone. Yes.
let me just objectify a little more. No, but
Right.
that's kind of,
Yeah.
these are questions we would have had for Nick if he had wanted to come on this podcast and had us on. But, I guess we won't be able to ask him.
How old is Nick?
85?
No, that's Al
No.
Pacino.
He's got to be around my age, 38. 42?
42? Come on, Nick.
Oh, come on.
Twice. He's
How old is she?
twice your age.
How old is she so we're not like talking out of school? 13? 18-year age gap? No, but 18.
So what, she's 24?
That doesn't tell the story.
24.
24.
24.
And they're now married how many years?
They got married?
They're engaged?
They're just engaged. They've been together how many years?
Yeah. Together how long?
We were saying the same thing about on the At Batches podcast about Leonardo DiCaprio. It's like, grow up.
Well, we talked about it here. We talked about Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, we did, yes.
And I said here, his explanation was at least honest. Or the PR agent.
He has an explanation. What was his explanation?
We talked about this. The PR agent basically was like, when at a certain age, these women seem to want more.
Oh, yes.
And
that
he
was,
doesn't
okay.
want more.
Yes. Sure.
And it was a female PR agent, obviously. Like, he did the most
So you're
PR-y. You go, okay, that's an honest version of like, at that point, they're looking to settle down, and I am Leo D looking to never settle down.
So you're saying it's like Leonardo DiCaprio is better because at least he's not like marrying them.
It's weird to say that. I guess, to me, like, the non-marriage is an admission.
Right.
That we don't have much in common at this point. Maybe he is stunted, Leo, as a,
I would say.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Grow up, as you're saying, grow up. Like, you would have to imagine that mentally he's, honestly, like, as a child star, I would understand. He's a child star. The guy was on Growing Pains, or Facts of Life. What was it?
I think it was Growing Pains.
Yeah. He was a young kid star. So, like, I can understand that you just are stunted if you get famous at
I guess.
18 as kind of the boy,
But there are a lot of child stars that, just get married.
Sure.
Or like date someone age appropriate, even
Right,
if
I
they're
guess
not getting married.
One doesn't inform the other, I guess, but I
Right.
can understand it that you're like,
Right.
that's a hard life to lead into adulthood.
Yeah. And that's not to say that you can't have people with an age gap who have a happy relationship. Of course, that's not.
To me, 58 and 40, I get it.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
that's like once you're,
But 18 years, that's why 18 years doesn't tell the story.
That's true.
Like,
Right. 24 and 42 is like.
it's a different story we're telling,
Right. I mean, he's emotionally stunted too. He's been on The Bachelor probably since he's like 25.
We're back to, I thought we were trying to get away from
I'm sorry. No, I'm just saying.
No,
I
you're
think when you
right.
live on reality TV, it's almost like you're a
Sure.
you're a engagement star. Like-
Right, and if the most interesting thing about you is your relationships, you have to go, well, I got to have like the most crazy style of relationship. I guess it's not the most crazy, but
Right.
I needed something that makes the news. Like Andy Dorfman
Yes.
got married, and Liza was on that did her styling.
Yeah.
So when hers came up, it wasn't like we did have a kind of a discussion of like, man, she's been around a while.
Yeah.
But then her engagement was just like quietly engaged to some guy. It wasn't like this story.
Right. Well, that's how you could feel like, it kind of feels more authentic.
To us.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're like, it's not for a press moment.
Right.
Not to say that Nick's
No.
engagement is for a press moment, but you know what I mean.
Come on. Why would a guy who goes on The Bachelor 5 times wants a press moment? Why would you even assume such a thing?
We're never getting on.
We're never going to get off from this
Nick,
subject.
if you want to come on here and defend yourself,
Open invite.
it has to be a swap, though. We need to go on yours,
This is the
too.
issue we get into. This is the issue. If you want to come on, we would love to come on your. We're willing to fly across. Yeah, look into Jordana's eyes. That's a serious offer. This is a businesswoman. This is the CEO of a major corporation.
Just come on. Just come on. We'll talk about
Just
it.
a few questions.
We don't want to put this on TikTok. Don't make us put this on TikTok.
We can't put this on. Let's get right into it.
Okay. Well, you've got your coffee today. It's
I
from
went
a
to-
new place.
Anita Gelato. We want some freebies.
Anita Gelato, my favorite, not Mike's favorite gelato place.
Yes, he likes a blue raspberry.
Hawaii.
Blue Hawaii.
Blue Hawaii. It's even less of a real flavor than blue
He
raspberry.
likes a Slurpee.
Mike's actually loves a Slurpee.
Really?
He loves a Slurpee. On his birthday last year, his friends got him like a big
Old Slurpee.
extra large
A big gulp.
Coca-Cola Slurpee from 7-Eleven.
Coca-Cola Slurpee is pretty good, but that is disgusting.
That's great. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I wouldn't want to
probably
be married to that.
Thank you. It's too late for me.
Yeah. You're locked in.
Locked
that's
in.
a life I don't want.
I might not be married for that long. That amount of sugar will kill you.
Right.
It might be my way
This
out.
is your plan. This is the long game to be able to date, you're a 40-year-old when you're 58.
Exactly. I've just been praying for diabetes.
Right. Praying. So Anita Gelato's down the street. I came from the other direction today, and I got a coffee, and I said to them, I was like, I did the thing that is kind of annoying people do to me, but I'm also not talking to Anita.
Right.
Like it wasn't Anita serving the scoops. I go up to the guy behind the counter. I go, I didn't know about your place, but you guys, it is popular here.
They kill it.
And he goes, I don't know what it is. He's like, we're putting something in the ice cream, obviously, because this place can be like, he looked like he was drained with no energy. He was
They're
like,
national. I've seen them in, I think, Chicago.
Really?
I think I saw them in Chicago.
The line I saw out the
Maybe it
door
was
from
Philly. I don't know.
wherever it was, the line I saw out the door like on a Monday night at Anita Gelato.
It's crazy. The line is like at minimum 20 minutes.
Right. It is crazy. I couldn't believe
And
it.
it's in a place where there's an ice cream shop on every corner.
Right. Are you a big ice cream person? Like growing up?
I'm not a big ice cream person. What does that mean? Like
We would go after dinners like every night.
No, I wouldn't say we're like every. I mean, there's a lot of us. It gets expensive. We would have the occasional ice cream. I really liked orange ices.
Orange ices?
Yeah, that was like my big thing. And
Is that like a creamsicle?
Yeah, and once I used to get them when we used to go to Aruba on family vacations. And I've been made fun of by my family. I've talked about this on Oversharing, where my brother once asked for like a bite, and he took a bite that was too big.
Okay.
In my opinion, and I like had this huge tantrum where I threw it on the floor and was like hysterically crying for hours. And then I've been made fun of it like for it ever since.
That's one of those things growing up where you're just like, it's funny, like you were just probably tired.
Probably.
It's a day in the sun. Like
wanted the ices.
Right.
Yeah.
You just wanted the ice and then you got it. They took a big bite. It annoyed you, rightfully so.
Yes.
And then instead of like an adult would go, I'm just having a bad day. I'm just annoyed with everybody.
It'd be funny. Just imagining like my 8-year-old self be like, it's just not my day.
Right.
I'm gonna go back to the room.
Right. I'm gonna
Decompress.
get out of here. That's what you would do
I need
as
a
an adult.
drink.
I need a drink. You meet Nick Vial at the bar. You start dating. So it's funny as a kid, because I remember my parents would make fun of me. They'd be like, oh, someone's tired. You're like, I'm not tired. I want my creamsicle.
Yes.
But it is tired. And your family made fun of you, which seemed to bring you up into who you are today.
Exactly. I told you it was that and then the breastfeeding, for 4 years.
Yes.
The two things made me into the woman I am today.
And I will say your
Strong
family,
bones.
Jordana isn't just saying this. The breastfeeding does come up amongst you guys.
Oh, yeah. It's still
Often.
a thing. Yes.
Enough for me to go,
Of
they
course,
really do talk.
yes.
Yeah, the breastfeeding. 4 more years. That was the chant.
4 more years.
Yeah. Well,
Every,
without that,
every election year it comes up again.
it comes out. That's the
Re-election year,
problem
yeah.
with the joke for you.
Yes. 2024 is going to be, it's going to be back.
It's going to be brutal. Trump running, you getting the joke
The
coming back.
breastfeeding situation.
Let's get into it. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Now that we've talked enough about Nick Vial,
We've covered all the main topics. Anita Gelato, breastfeeding.
Nick Vial's
Nick Vial
relationship, not having us on.
Yes. We've aired our grievances.
Yeah. Listen, before we get started, big thank you to everyone who came to our live shows.
Oh, yes.
I want to also specific. We haven't done the Boston, New York, and DC shows yet, but I'm sure they're going to be great. We've have amazing submissions. They're all great and wonderful. We got to give our flowers to the Philly people because we gave them
They were
shit.
great. Yes.
We gave them shit for not buying tickets and not showing up, and then huge crowd,
Active crowd.
active fun. We had guests.
Super fun.
One of our most fun shows, and I just want to make sure we acknowledge them and how great the Philadelphia audience was.
Philadelphia killed it. I want to go back, and I didn't think I would be saying that. They were
I'm shocked
great.
myself.
They were great.
Yeah.
I did almost get hit by a car walking there, but
Right, you
as soon
can't
as-
walk in Philly.
yeah, that's what I'm learning.
Yeah,
It's like literally there was a sign that said like with a person on it walking, and it had like an X through it.
no walking.
I was
here.
but I was like too close at that point. I was like
Right.
5-minute walk away.
But that's a New York 5-minute walk.
Yeah, I had
It's
to make
not.
a run for it.
Well, we're happy you stayed alive.
Same.
And we're happy with all the Philly people that came. Thank you. That
Thank
was
you.
just such a great
And
show.
where are you next?
So if you're listening right now, I'm going to be in Kansas City, Missouri this weekend. Like I'm going, I don't.
July 4th weekend,
Well, this comes out. When does this come
June
out?
28th.
What am I, crazy? Yeah, no. This isn't July 4th lands
It's
on
on
a
a
Wednesday or
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I took a lot of I should have taken some time off. I really
You
should
say
have.
that every summer.
I say it every
Oh,
summer.
you did go away last summer and then never again.
Famously, it became work for me to go to Europe. No, I got to be better at my calendar. I need to separate work from life
Okay.
a little bit more, I think. It's getting in the way of just dating and just my.
I 100%
Self-
support that.
But the problem is I'm saying this now, but I agreed to these dates months ago.
Where are you going this weekend?
So this is all to say, come to my show, Kansas City, Missouri, this weekend, and then I'm in Nashville the next weekend. So I'm like back to back on the road, Kansas City, Nashville, Stamford, Connecticut, which I'm excited about Stamford more than people might be in general. I have friends that live up there. I'll kind of stay in Connecticut a little bit. That's what feels more close to home. Raleigh, Lexington, Charlotte, and then always adding dates, jaredfree.com.
What about Huntington?
It's coming. This is, I keep saying that.
I keep refreshing the website.
Right, I know.
Over every day. I go to You Up Reviews, jaredfree.com, Instagram.
I got your tickets. It's coming. And if you're out there, I do the Bachelor preview.
Oh, yeah.
So I preview all the contestants for the
So
Bachelorette.
funny.
Thank
So
you.
funny.
That is on my Instagram right now. So go share one of the many
Share it with Nick
reviews.
Vial.
Share it with Nick.
Let him know he should have this person on his
Right.
podcast.
It's fun. He doesn't want anyone funny on there.
No one to
Doesn't want-
upstage him.
No, can't go on. We have everyone on. People ask and we go, yeah, come on. I don't understand what's going on here, that we are such a untouchable duo.
He's too elite. for
I'm not.
us.
This isn't even about Nick. We get this feedback a lot. It's annoying.
Yeah.
We're
Have
ready to
us
go out
on
there.
your show. Anyone? No, unless we don't want to go.
There's a confident way to look. Right.
Sometimes
Unless your show sucks.
Yeah. Or is too small. Like our show, I guess.
I guess we're too small. You have anything to announce?
Yeah. We have a new way to subscribe to this podcast. I know you guys, there was a lot of kerfuffle about Spotify sending an annoying email, but that's all in the past.
There
We're
was an
moving
email.
forward. Did you not get DMs about this? Were they like,
I didn't get. Listen, the kerfuffle passed me by. But let me just say, we start anew.
yes.
If you want to be subscribed to the benefits episode, subscribe.betches.com.
Yeah, and the reason we're changing this up is we want to be able to offer you subscribers a lot of other additional perks down the line. We're working on a lot of that stuff to make it even more enticing to just
Right.
get more of us, just give you our
Wet your
entire
whistle.
soul.
Yeah.
Yes. So subscribe.betches.com, and you can still listen anywhere you listen to your podcasts if you subscribe via subscribe.betches.com. And if you have any questions, you can DM the You Up Instagram.
And if you're an Apple user, you can still use it
yeah, you
via
just
Apple.
press the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed.
And I will say, I've gotten many messages about my last You Up with Benefits
People love
episode.
that episode.
Really, I got told to seek therapy multiple times. Many people, one person, I was actually diagnosed. Many of our listeners diagnosed me with depression after that.
We have many therapists and uncertified therapists.
Right, a lot of Dr.
listeners,
Naomi's out there. Yeah, they had a lot to say about that. No, people connected.
What do they think you have?
Depression. That was their. That was. They all came together as one.
Do you think your insurance will cover treatment based on the diagnosis of your DMs? My Instagram followers say I'm sad.
Can you make sure this is covered?
No, it was a good episode.
It's a good episode. I think people really connected to the where do you put your energy into in life? That type of thing. So
an existential question.
Existential, to say the least. What are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about matches and them not understanding that you want to just hook up.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll read the email.
Okay.
Hi, J&J. I've heard Jared say a few times that when someone agrees to go on a date off the apps, they've already decided they want to fuck them.
That's right.
He may just be referring to dudes, but I feel this way as a straight female. 9 times out of 10, I will only agree to a date if I'm interested in future sex with my match.
Go, girl.
Yeah, sure. However, the last few dates I've gone on, the guy was slightly less attractive than his profile, dropping him below my would like to fuck threshold. LOL. Is it enough to not want to have sex with a guy on a first date or even reviewing a profile to decide you're not interested? Is that too picky or a fair ask? I mean, how can I build a romantic connection with someone if by date 3 or 4 I'm not interested in sexy time? Should I give a guy a second date chance? Or is it that cruel if I know within the first 10 minutes of meeting if I'm interested or not? Thanks.
You know why I love this email? It could only be written by a woman.
Why?
The care with which, am I too picky? Am I being mean? Am I this? Am I that? It is funny. Just the idea of like, am I too picky because I don't go on a date with someone I don't want to fuck is
Man
crazy.
would never ask himself
Man
that.
would never,
Right.
never. There is nobody that is more ruthless than a man's penis.
Right. Well, here's the difference, I think, between men and women on the apps is like, you could go out. I think women are just much more likely to, if they're not extremely attracted to someone physically, they could like their personality enough to become physically attracted to them.
Totally agree. I understand that. I don't think it's wrong. Yeah. I can see how, I think women on the apps are looking at the full resume and guys are looking through a keyhole.
Right.
They're going.
Well, it's like if that doesn't work, then none of the other stuff matters for them.
And for women, if the other stuff works, the other thing could matter.
Right. It's a much more even pie chart.
Right. And so, I kind of think I read this email before, and I kind of thought of like when those "Am I the asshole?" questions on Reddit.
Yes.
And it's like, so I think there's different versions. Like, is a guy an asshole for not going on a date with a woman because he doesn't want to have sex with them?
No.
Right. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Is a woman an asshole for not going on a date because she wouldn't have sex with a guy?
No.
Is a guy an asshole for only going on the date because he only knows he wants to have sex with the girl?
Unless he's saying something different than that, then no.
Right. Well, even so, he goes, I know I want to have sex with her, but we'll find out about the other stuff later.
No.
Not to say that they're having sex. This is just,
that's the only reason he wants to go.
He goes, I'm attracted. Take sex, I guess is the wrong way to put it. I'm attracted to her. Why are you going out with her? She's hot.
Right.
That's a good reason to go on a date.
It's good enough.
If you said to a woman, why is she going on a date? And she went, he's got a cool job. He had some funny things in his profile. Not that attractive. I think that's okay too.
That's fine also.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what this woman is saying, when do you become the asshole? You're right? It's like, if you're on the 5th date only wanting to fuck, as a guy, I think you're kind of a dick. If it's not been said outright.
And if you're on the 5th date and you don't want to have sex, you're kind of an asshole too.
Right.
Right. As a woman.
Yes. Or vice versa.
The difference is a man would never be on the 5th date. He would never get to the 5th date if he didn't want to have sex with you.
Right.
Right. But,
But
on that note,
it could go the other way. I'm saying we're generalizing.
if a man
but
is on a fifth date and he doesn't see it turning into anything, is he an asshole?
Right. That's an asshole. Or that
You say
conversation.
yes.
I do. I think
Okay.
you're being a dick if the conversation comes up. Let's say you're on the 5th date and they say, I'm here because I have a great time. This would be hard to say, but it is something that's relatable to me.
Right.
I am here with you because I enjoy my time with you. I'm super attracted to you. I don't see a long-term relationship in the future for this.
Okay.
If you say that and they're like, okay,
Yeah.
you're not a dick anymore.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, hard to say.
Well, what if a woman said to you, she was on date 5, having a great time,
Mm-hmm.
really enjoy hanging out with you, not interested in having sex with you?
They're not a dick because they're coming out and saying that thing, or I'm not sure
But happy to keep
yet.
hanging out as friends.
Right. That's where like the incel group of men come out with their pitchforks.
Right.
And they kind of make everyone into that who's on a 5th date without having sex. I don't believe that to be the case. I understand how someone could, but it's hard. In the same way it's hard for a guy or anyone, take gender out of this. It's hard for anyone to say, I'm having a real good time with you. I don't see a future with you. I'd still like to fuck you.
Right.
Is the same way as go, I am having a real good time with you. I haven't gotten to the place of wanting to be physical yet, but I want to keep hanging out.
Right.
Equally hard, I think, to say those things.
I think harder to say the man version because the woman version is kind of like it seems self-protective. It doesn't have to be seen as insulting, I think.
See, to me, it's
No.
insulting.
Why
I
is
would, because you want to fuck me? It's 5 dates? Well, how disgusting am I?
What if I don't do that? What if they said they don't do that with anyone? I don't like to have sex unless I'm in a committed relationship.
I don't think they're being a dick. It would be hard for me to believe.
You wouldn't believe it.
I believe all women.
Okay.
In this case, I don't know. Yeah, it would be hard. I would take it personally as opposed to believing it.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Would you be interested in seeing where it would go without having sex?
I would have to reassess and decide that I really like them.
Right, because you would also know that when you sleep with them, it is because you are in a serious thing.
And now the dickhead thing has swapped.
Right.
Like if I got that far to just fuck, I immediately become the piece of shit.
Well, and
where
that-
she's not the piece of shit. She's the hero that was looking for love. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like the Mondays I take advantage of men to get dinner becomes Tuesdays I found the one man of my dreams who fucked me over to fuck.
Well, I think that really leaves a lot of merit to the 12-date matchmaker Maria rule, right? 'Cause,
Absolutely.
like, you're getting rid of.
If you are someone,
You're creating that thing. Yeah.
If you are someone who knows their relationship with sex is fraught with getting too attached to someone, then that rule will help you through.
Agreed.
No question.
Yeah.
If you can separate sex from relationship and sex from getting too in your feelings, then that might not be the answer for you. If you need sex as a part of that decision, you know?
Right. I don't think many women need sex as part of that decision.
That's the hard part. That's why this podcast exists.
Right.
You know, like
Battle of the sexes. Yeah.
a battle of the sexes, because I don't know. I think
Could you see a world where you would hold off being in a sexual relationship until you
till marriage or till 12 dates
till your exclusivity?
We're doing other stuff.
Hand job.
That's it.
That's it.
No mouth to penis action. That's hard for me to do because then it's like, am I signing up? Does this person not like blowjobs? Is that why it's
They
not?
just don't. They think it's very intimate, and they don't want to be doing that with someone who's off doing that with someone else.
It would be very hard.
No pun intended. Sorry.
Oh, I'd be hard.
Okay.
It would be very hard for me to get mentally through that, considering the pressure that would be put up. And I'm speaking for myself, but I think I'm a lot like most guys where it's the and listen, we always go to this. Everyone, but what if you were in love? Okay. That's a tail end of the bell curve.
Right.
If I'm enjoying this person's company and they're like, now they've made it a hill for me to climb that I'm like, I'm not mentally prepared to do. You know, and I would probably back out.
Which is fine.
which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the hard part about all this stuff. It's like feelings do get hurt.
Right.
They're going to get hurt.
Well, here's the thing. You can have your feelings hurt without the other person being a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
Things can hurt your feelings without a negative intent, and it can still be the right thing. Your feelings can hurt, and things can be right.
I think it's harder because this is why the 12-date rule is good for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Because you go 12 dates, you are in the wrong.
Right.
You know, without speaking your mind and letting someone know how big a deal this is. And just because we have a date 12 days, because we fuck 12 dates in. And I know Matchmaker Maria's rule is that it's just 12 interactions. So it could be like a walk in the park. But I'm just saying, if that's what it takes for someone, and then they say to you, hey, I can't, I still want to hang out with you, but this is a part of my decision-making pie.
Yeah.
It would be, it would be hard, like you're
after
more
12 dates or something.
right after 12. You're a dick if you if you fuck after 12 days, nothing's said, and then you're just like, you know what?
I mean, I kind of think you're a dick if you go on 5 dates and then
Sure,
like whatever. Like I kind of think like, what's the difference? You don't go
bigger dick. I'm saying
I wouldn't go on 6 dates with anyone that I didn't see it going anywhere with personally.
right.
Sex or no sex.
No, I'm with you, but I think that's maybe an older guy's perspective.
Right.
At
this point,
I could understand. You go on the date Tuesday, you meet up that weekend. You go on the date Wednesday, meet up again that weekend. You're 4 interactions in. Those are 2 weekends and 2 dates.
Yeah, but if you're seeing someone that often, don't you see it going somewhere?
You would assume. But I can understand when you're 25 and going out every weekend. You go out every weekend.
Right.
This isn't dinner with friends and then we go to a nice cocktail bar. We're chugging beers.
Yeah. Well, that's why there's no that's why I think there's no hard and fast rule. Like I think every situation has its own context and its own unique thing. But that's just to say that you should stop seeing someone when you don't see it going anywhere if that's what they want.
I should drink more milk and have more water and not drink as much as I do.
Well, I mean, to this listener's question,
I think they're doing everything right.
Yeah, I agree. They're like, if you don't want to sleep with someone after seeing them 3 times, you're never going to want to sleep with them.
Right.
In my opinion.
I agree with that. If you're,
first time I could understand, for women especially.
I get it. I get it for a guy too. Let's see. Might be my type. No. I
wait till she turns around.
Let me see that ass. No, I'm. I hate too picky is the most annoying phrase in all of dating. It's always from someone who has something that they didn't have to work for.
What do you mean?
The people who say, whenever someone uses the phrase too picky, it always seems to come from someone who's just naturally gorgeous, naturally rich, naturally, just built in, met in high school. It never seems like the too picky people, it's your mom, your mom who's been married 50 years.
Right.
And I'm not saying their marriage wasn't work, but I'm saying the way they got to marriage, different type of work than you're on a dating app at 30.
Well, anyone who's like, I think that there's something a little scary or like that makes you feel bad about if you're in a relationship and someone seems like they're too picky, because then it makes you think like, should I have been more picky?
Right. It is.
Like,
that's
you know what I mean? Like,
that's very interesting.
People are like not settling for these people. I mean,
right.
I'm using, you know what I mean? Like that's
single people are dreamers.
Or irrational. Yeah.
Single people are dreamers, and people in relationships are in the reality that they have built.
Right.
There's different things they dream about.
Well, seeing someone else's experience and especially seeing them being happy in a different experience always makes people question their own experience.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
And their own choices, rather.
When the finger points, 3 point back.
Exactly.
As the
Spider-Man meme goes.
That's how it goes. No, I completely agree with that. So the too picky thing is it's a judgment of everyone.
Yes. Well, it's wanting to reaffirm your own choices.
Right. Let's do some awkward sex.
Let's do it.
You ready?
I'm ready.
I like this awkward sex. I may have put in a little more work than usual into this one.
Oh, wow. Okay,
So,
I'm excited.
A little bit of a tease, as they say in the biz. You ready?
Okay.
Hi, Jared and Jordana. I'm a huge fan. I've meant to send this awkward sex since I started listening to your dating advice during the pandemic. I'll jump right in. They're better at jumping in than we are.
Definitely. Everyone is better at jumping in than we are.
I was a sophomore in college at a large Midwestern state school and had just moved into my first off-campus house. It was a huge duplex with 8 guys on my side and 7 girls a year older on the other. After a long day of playing drinking games and watching football with the girls next door, one of the cute blonde neighbors and I went upstairs to my room. We hooked up and everything was great and normal until I got downstairs where all my roommates were waiting to greet me with grinning faces. It's like, they just,
Subtle as college boys are.
right. I just imagine them in like a Christmas Carol type thing.
Yes.
To set the scene, my bedroom was on the top floor. It was long and skinny as it was basically the attic. Oh, college fucking. Want to go fuck in the attic?
Anywhere, I feel like in college.
Just animals. Yeah. And my bed was near a large window overlooking a busy street. As it turns out, the desk light I turned on had cast a perfect shadow of us having sex under the blinds of the window by my bed. The day was winding down, the sun had set, and my roommates were all hanging out on the front porch as I was upstairs with this girl. Apparently, the neighbors across the street saw the sex shadows and summoned all my roommates. Also a very college thing. All the neighbors aren't like old fuddy-duddies. They're like young kids
peers,
who want to watch people fuck too. And anyone walking down the street to come watch. Hey, everybody!
This reminds me of like American Pie.
Right.
You know, with the video, and then they all send it to each other.
They all send it, yeah. Hey, come on in. We got people fucking across the street.
In the shadows, though. It's not even like you could, it's very, I wonder what that looks like.
Any shadows. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. Hey, random dude. Yeah, I'll come in. Apparently, the neighbors across the street saw the sex scene, summoned all my roommates and anyone walking down the street to come watch. You can only imagine the horror on this girl's face after she realized half the neighborhood just saw the shadows of us having sex upstairs. Luckily, her walk of shame was only over the divide on our front porch. My college roommates still love to tell this story and remind me it was the fastest they had ever seen me move, as I was a bigger guy who was thoroughly enjoying my college meal plan. I hope this story makes you chuckle. #silhouette sex.
I like silhouette sex. That's
Love silhouette sex. Yeah. What do you think of the story?
Very funny. I wonder what sex in shadows would look like.
It would look like finger puppets, no?
You think?
Like,
because sometimes they get like
puppets.
distorted based on where you are.
Right. This is like, in New York City, like the henge, when the Manhattan Henge, is that what it's called? Yeah. When the sun sets perfectly between the buildings. This must have been perfect time, perfect hour. The sun, the lighting just perfectly.
I was gonna say it was like fucked up for the girl, but I feel like because it's just a shadow, it's not like you're seeing her actual body.
Right.
I think it's fine.
It's Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
It's like da 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 da. It's like the person taking off the one lingerie arm thing.
There would be nothing more entertaining in the scene that he's set than realizing that you can see the shadows of someone having sex.
That's the most fun part of this whole. That's why the story's fun and not horrific.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
So none
of this. The fastest they've seen me move is also very funny.
It's very funny. So this all made me think it was like a children's book.
Okay. Because of the shadows?
Just the shadows, the Looney Tunes
Mine's like Peter
nature.
Pan. Isn't there a thing with his shadow?
He's got to catch his shadow.
Yeah.
So this was to me, I could see this being.
So you wrote a book, didn't you?
I wrote a children's story.
Book. Wow.
About this.
HarperCollins.
If you're out there.
We've got.
Now, if we have any artists that watch or listen to this podcast, I did this. Sometimes I read the emails. I go, okay, I'm going to say, I got a couple things to say, whatever. This, for some reason, I was just moved to write. Wow. I'm a writer. You know that.
Yeah, I do know that.
And people know this about me.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay. I called it Penthouse Performance.
Okay. By Jared Freed.
In the house, not a pitter-patter. Where's Greg and Susie? They must have gone a-scatter. Not under the table for the beer pong, or in the cabinet where we kept the hash bong. Did Susie have an itchy clit? Call back. Call back to last
Itchy
week.
clit has been in my head all week.
Itchy clit, oh, itchy clit. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm off the track. Did Susie have an itchy clit? Was Greg's big face a good place to sit? The neighbors searched to and fro, not the full mattress with the t-shirt sheets or behind the TV that Julie received from Aunt Flo. But what is that in the window there? That large shadowy figure pulling her by the hair? Against her rump, a bang, bang, bang. A mighty thrust of his wang, wang, wang. The shadow then darted, to the yard we parted, and Greg and Susie came down with a bashful blush. We all laughed, thanking God it wasn't us. For the rest of the day we made fun, even gentle Gus. For Susie and Greg would twiddle their thumbs while looking oh so glum. But the only losers in the house were us who didn't come.
Wow. That was great. Very impressive.
Can Nick Vial do that?
No.
No. Come on.
That was amazing.
We need an artist to draw this in a child's book way.
And then we'll sell it. We'll work together. Yeah.
We'll give them a percentage of, a sale, something.
Yeah.
Don't you see a Three Bears type of artistry with that?
We could have a whole fan base. Could turn it into a movie.
It could be a movie. The movie's great.
Yeah. What's the title of the book?
Penthouse Performance.
Love it.
Isn't that
Could have
great?
been an author. If only you read, though.
If only I read.
We can make a book that you won't read. I love it. That was great. Very talented.
Thank you. Well, I was on the way here and something came. I've been writing a lot lately.
Yeah.
I write letters to myself.
Why don't you write letters to your dates?
Letters. Where my penis is a flitter. With
Have you ever written a girl a poem?
Never.
Sounds like you could do it.
Then I'd be saying that I
That
wanted
guy?
more than we are.
Okay. What about a girlfriend?
I've never written
A note, a poem, something
No.
for any woman ever.
Maybe
You
I
wanna lead
should have.
her
I don't
on?
know.
I mean, we can see this at your wedding. Did you write your vows yet, Jared? I don't really want to lead you on. I don't really want this writing.
I want to make sure.
Is there a videographer?
don't.
If so, I think we should not do our vows.
No vow. I don't want this shit on tape.
All right. All right, let's do another
Let's do
email.
another email.
Okay. Hey, J&J. I've been a listener for the past few years and have really enjoyed listening to all the advice and jokes on the show. I was in a relationship for the past decade, in my early 30s now, and started listening while I was still married just for entertainment. But eventually the marriage led to separation and now divorce. You Up was once for entertainment only, and now it is mandatory listening.
Well, this makes me feel good. We get a lot of these
We'll take you through your whole dating life.
right. I mean,
Highs and lows.
highs and lows. And, it's so funny because, when do people find the show? They're like, oh, most people come to me, breakup.
Yeah.
Always a breakup. We were medicine.
We are.
That's right.
Nature's remedy. Not really. During the separation this past year, I had a few short relationships that I ended because I realized I was using them to delay the inevitable divorce. Most women did not want it to end at the time. The last few months I've been focusing on myself and going to therapy, and I'm ready to test the dating scene again. I'm on the apps and things are fine there, but I find myself constantly thinking back to the women I dated recently. I want to text them, but I don't want to be the stereotypical guy who texts out of the blue 6 months after ending things. My therapist thinks I should, and that I can't make myself responsible for their feelings or response. Who the fuck is this therapist?
No, I like this therapist.
Okay.
Okay. Not your problem. That's her
we'll
name.
get to it.
Doctor,
Yeah.
not your problem.
Right. Ugh. I can think of a few guys who are this therapist.
Well,
All right.
I have some notes,
All right.
but okay.
Do I want to text these women just because I know it was a yes in the past? Do women really hate when guys come back months later? Should I focus on meeting new people instead of reaching out to old flings? Am I having these thoughts just because I'm bored and want some drama in my life? Thanks. A man who's never sent a "you up" text.
I love this
Okay.
email. I have to say, it's vulnerable.
It's great.
It's soul searching.
yes.
it's
and
something
he's
that-
he's trying to be a good person.
Right. And it kind of relates, it's funny that you're getting annoyed with this guy
I'm getting annoyed with his therapist.
Well, I don't think the therapist gave full enough advice.
Yeah. Sounds
Like-
like it was lazy advice on the therapist part.
A little bit. Who are we to doubt a therapist? You know, two people with no degrees in therapy. But
I have a podcast.
I say that's true.
Yeah.
Not very many people have a podcast. So because I think when the one thing that stuck out to me is like, should I text them?
Yes.
The group.
Well, that
And
was
it's
gonna
like, that is not really to me to this person. Like
we start dating both people that I previously ended it with.
Right.
Or
If there was-
two plus. I
and-
don't know how many people there are.
Right. Do they both stick out? Then yeah, this might be a personal issue you have that you're going back to people who've already said yes.
Right.
Are you thinking of one person in particular that you're like, I didn't give that enough of a chance? Because if you do go back, you're going back with more consequence than where you came from.
And you have to have something different to say.
Right.
As well.
So if you're to that point,
Yes.
if you're just like, should I just reach out to any of these people I used to date? No.
Yes.
Because you haven't said anything different about either of them. You keep saying he's grouped together. What's special in that of like, I got these 5 people I went on dates with and broke up with.
Right.
If you're not thinking of one, I think
I
like,
totally agree. I thought that too. It's like your therapist telling you to go back to all of them
no,
and just start redating all of them. Like
That's not the
no,
right
I
move.
agree. If you had one person that you were seeing at the time, it was the timing, but you think it could have actually gone somewhere.
Because you have done this work with your therapist.
Right.
Like, and you go, you know what? That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
You can go back, and again, I don't think you need to say I want to be in a relationship, but I think you could say I think I ended this prematurely. I was not in a good place at the
Right.
time. Would you want to see where it goes?
right.
But only if he has the intention of seeing where it goes.
Right. I think it also includes like, hey, not saying this out loud, but deleting the apps and like giving it
Yeah.
a full effort and taking away kind of the distractions that go with being a single guy or a single person in general. We're zoning in on the same thing.
I
Like,
agree. I just think if you're going to go back, you have to do it with intention.
Right. So let me give an example that kind of speaks to this because it was so interesting. We did the Philly show. The Philly show was so good. And then that we ended on this young woman who had drunk dialed a guy
Yes.
the night before.
Very relatable.
Very relatable.
Who had ended it with her.
So we get her phone on stage and we go I go, have you texted the guy? She goes, I did. So I was like, let me read the text. She gives me the phone and I bring it up. And Jordana, you noticed
Yes.
that his
wait. Yes.
yeah, Jordana holds up the whole show. Is like, there's another text here, and it's him ending the relationship.
Right.
So we read on stage this guy ending it.
Mm-hmm.
His text to her was cliche, annoying guy, pump her up to let her go.
Yes. It had a lot of the markings of things that I have seen before. And that while they are nice in theory,
Right.
I actually think in practice they're more annoying than nice.
And you were not alone in being annoyed.
Because
the women in the crowd
Right.
took out their pitchforks and
Well, that text could be a whole discussion on its own. Where
Right.
the text that he said in the ending, it was like, "You're so amazing. Like, I wish, like, I don't deserve to be like with you.
I'm a
Find someone who
loser."
treats
Yeah.
you better than I do, and I think you're so incredible." And XYZ, and it's like that to me is annoying. And I've gotten that message. I think I've read that email on this show
Mm-hmm.
that I've gotten from someone who I was like really into. And to me, it's kind of like, well, what's the point of you saying that? Because if you wanted to, if you truly believed all of those things, if you truly believed
Mm-hmm.
them, you would want to date me.
right, you're great, but not for me.
Right. It's like,
I call
I
it
don't
the-
deserve you. Well, it's like, well, you could, because I'm telling you, like, if you could
right.
have.
And you can literally have me
Right,
right
yes.
now. I call it the balloon breakup. Blow it up, let it fly away. Because that's what he's doing.
But
He's
it's
trying to
actually
pump
more
you up.
confusing.
It's
Yeah.
annoying, and
Right.
I now having done this podcast, I think I'm well versed in why that's annoying. All the reasons you're saying. If you're amazing, you're wonderful,
Right.
you're
That gives me nothing to work with.
you're literally, and that's what they're trying to do:
Right.
blow you up so that you fly away. And they literally, as they're pushing you out the door, telling you you're gorgeous, you're amazing, get the fuck out there.
Find someone who's going to
Right.
appreciate
in that hallway over there.
That's not
there's-
me. So this
Right.
big stupid idiot who
Right.
doesn't know what they're doing. But like you don't need to deal with me.
Right.
Go.
Get out of here, kid.
It's a great
Enjoy-
analogy.
It's a great,
Yeah.
right. Because that's what we're doing. Because we don't want to be a dick. And
No one's saying you should be a dick. I think that there's somewhere in the middle that is not like blowing smoke up someone's ass in a way that is clearly to like get them to not be mad at you. That is also like more real than that.
people
I
are
think.
going to get mad. And you have to speak for yourself in any breakup.
Mhm.
I am not, this is not a match for me. That's a better way than, you're wonderful. You're going to make a great wife one day. You're going to have beautiful
I feel
children.
so jealous of
I'm
whoever gets to be with you.
It's all
And I
these
could've-
lines.
right.
Get out of here, kid. You're going to be great in that big bad world. Yeah. And well, when I read that, so we read that message from this guy. And then the next message is, hey, did I just get a call from you? To her drunk dial.
Mhm.
And then she wrote back something along the
I
line.
was drunk and, I'm thinking about you.
Right.
Whatever.
And then he wrote back, no problem at all. Totally understand that happens. Right.
Right.
And it was funny because his message of the balloon breakup isn't defensible. It's annoying.
Right.
But he did stick to
Yes.
the parameters.
That's true.
He did. He didn't write you up. He didn't send a text. He understood.
Stayed away.
He
Yes,
stayed away.
Yes, that's respectful. Yes.
That is respectful. It had been like a year since it had been months.
Right.
And then she messages him drunk. She calls him drunk. He checks in to make
Right.
sure that she's okay,
Alive.
that he didn't
Okay.
fuck up,
Okay.
without him knowing. He's
Right.
making sure he's still
making sure
not a
she's
bad
not
guy.
pregnant.
Yeah, right. Basically. Yeah, he's making sure.
Hey, was that you? Is everything okay?
Is everything still drinking, right?
He's probably,
Having a few pops, right?
probably
Out with the
relieved
girls.
at the drunk dial. Yeah.
Right. Hopefully it was a drunk dial. So then he checks in, and then she was like, you could tell she was disappointed that her like drunk dial message, which
Right.
is a moment of vulnerability of like, it's basically saying, I still think about you.
Yeah.
And then he follows it up with, I'm out.
Totally cool. Yeah.
Totally cool.
Yeah.
Which is him saying no again.
Right.
So it is interesting how, because I brought this up on stage and everyone was like, no one bought it. That this guy, I'm not saying he's a good guy, but I'm saying he's done
No,
right
I agree.
since. And you
I
agreed
agree.
with me,
Yeah,
but you
no,
can
I
feel
agree.
though the room.
And I can understand why someone would do the balloon method. I think that it
Right.
it makes sense to me. I'm not saying
in
that's
theory,
right.
I agree it's wrong. In theory, I understand. You can understand where their brain's going. I do think they're great. I do think they're wonderful. I don't think they're badly of them. I'll tell them.
But it's just like because I think on the other end of it, you're kind of like, okay, this person is probably dating me and sleeping with me for this long period of time. If all of these things that they're writing about me are true, then why
Right.
do they not want to be with me? And there's no real explanation.
Well,
in
the
there.
explanation is they're not in the place in their life that they're ready to take on the responsibility of a relationship. I am not.
I think it's that they don't want to be in a relationship with you.
Yeah, but I think in the delusional, way that I've said these things, and I could see when in this situation, it is, I don't want to be in a relationship with you.
Yes.
It is that.
Yes.
But you do kind of tell yourself, you're like, if A was C and C was B, I could, because I wouldn't just, I would say most breakups, especially in this world that like you get to like do dating apps and life gets longer, that you don't just shack up with the next person you meet at college.
Right.
You do kind of think to yourself, well, if this had been different, maybe, but there's
Well,
a
then
lot.
say that.
Right, but then that also opens up the door for like, I don't want to ever give. I think when you do the balloon breakup, you want the balloon to fly away. You don't want to hold on to the string.
Right.
So I think there's an element of like, if I said that, I'm being a dick.
Because you're leading them on to think that
Maybe I could
there's a
come
chance.
back.
But you think maybe you could come back.
No,
especially when
I don't think
especially
so.
when they do come back
Right.
after that. Especially when they do the balloon breakup and then they do come back.
Well, that's the thing with this guy.
He didn't
To
come back,
He's
yeah.
not. He's on the precipice of coming back. And what we're saying is, if you come back, that is a higher stakes thing.
Yes.
Don't just do that frivolously. Don't just say,
Hey,
know.
what's up? Address. I think here's the thing. If you go back to someone that you've ended things with, you need to address that what happened, that you've ended it in the past. I know I did XYZ or I said XYZ. This is why things are different now. This is what I am looking for.
right.
And I think that you lose the you lose the ability to be like in ignorant bliss about what someone wants after you've ended it with them and you go back.
Right.
That's something you give up.
Right. You're not on date 1.
Yes.
This is
You
date
can't
5.
You can't try to make it date 1. That's very annoying.
That's I could see why that's, and people do that.
People do that all the time.
Right.
And I think it's like very fucked up personally.
Oh, and people enter into it and then they go, well, what's going on? Why are they being, I'm like, they're living in the contract.
Right, what I'm saying, that's why it's like the annoying thing with this stuff is it always feels on the other end of it. Here's how it feels. It feels like the person forgot why they didn't like you, came back, sleeps with you, and then they're like, oh yeah, now I remember. Actually, no.
I mean, guilty as charged.
All right.
Been there.
Well,
I'm speaking from a place of like, don't feel good about
you
that.
feel very used, I think.
Well, I
yeah.
also
Right.
don't feel good to have been that person.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. And
So
if
we're warning
right.
you.
Yeah,
you know?
no, I'm saying if he goes back without thinking it and doing in that method, I think that is the harm he's causing.
Right.
He's bringing someone himself back into someone's life because he's bored. Like he said, if he needs to figure out if he's bored or wants some drama in his life, or if he actually felt like he had a genuine connection with that person that he could see turning into a real
That's
relationship.
the thing to talk about with your therapist. Separating boredom from
Yes.
actual feelings.
And figure that out with your therapist before you text him.
Let's play some games. You
Okay,
ready?
I'm ready.
UUP@betches.com. Keep sending these in. These are fantastic red flag deal breakers this week.
Wonderful. Great job, Candace.
Candace, bringing it. He takes your trash as a keepsake from the date. I went on 2 dates with this man. We're both 31. The date was just fine. He went on a work trip after the second date. We were casually texting a few days after this date. I told him it's nice to get. I just told him it's nice he gets monthly hotel stays, and he brought our end of date kiss into it. It was a quick kiss, not a makeout. He saved the napkin he wiped my lipstick on. Red flag or deal breaker? Is this creepy or am I just not into it? So we'll do. She sent screenshots. Okay,
All
let's
right.
read the text. I'll be him.
Okay.
Although I do wish I was closer to home so I could get some more of your lip gloss all over my face. Laughing face emoji.
I don't think it was all over your face, LOL.
Immediately not in. Immediately. He writes, okay, don't judge, ... And then he sends a picture of a napkin with lipstick on it.
With a lipstick imprint on it, too.
It looks like he kissed it.
Yeah,
Doesn't it?
It looks like she kissed it.
Right.
Right.
But
like
then
she get off the lip gloss or something. Because she said on the date, he wiped my lipstick on, which I think is weird, too. I didn't really fully
Wait a
understand
minute,
that. Why did
what?
he wipe her lipstick off?
on
She
the
didn't say
date,
I wiped my lipstick on.
he
She said-
wiped my lipstick on.
Oh, maybe they kissed. The lipstick got on his lips, and then he wiped it off his own lips.
That's what I assumed.
Okay, yes.
But the way he wiped it off, it looks like he just went like this.
Maybe that's how he did it.
If you're on YouTube, you
maybe
can
that's
see.
why she was not into it.
Right, that's like the weirdest way to
Yeah.
wipe off. Like that's like he's trying to keep it.
Oh my god. Okay, we'll put this on the Instagram.
You gotta put
Okay.
it. Yeah, this is okay. So then she writes back.
LOL. That's not all over.
She's stuck on the definition of all over. Well, I'll happily take more next time. If you're up for it, of course. Ha ha.
Okay.
What do you think?
This
of
is a no. Here's the thing. If they went on the date, went
Right.
amazing, they wind up in a relationship, it's minimum 3 months in, he can say, can I tell you something kind of creepy and weird that I
Right.
actually, from the first date when we made out, I took the lipstick off. I actually saved the napkin. I was like really into you. I would be like, that's kind of cute. You cannot tell someone that right after. That's
Right,
creepy.
Right. This is
You have to establish like this is like a creepy little thing. I don't blame him for doing it. If he was like really into her and he was excited, like fine, keep it. Keep that shit to yourself.
Well, it's so funny you bring. I was like, this is great on a wedding.
Yes.
How we met page.
Our story.
This is a great Our Story page. This is a great, like, he pulls it out at the wedding. People go fucking crazy for it. It does seem like the information of this type of thing, it feels like this information of like bringing something out from the first date, women love that men would keep a keepsake from the first date, was fed into ChatGPT. And then
Told him to do that.
Told him to do this after the first date because women love it. No. The way you're explaining it is exactly like it's too soon. It actually feels a little manipulative. It
Right,
sounds
to tell
like
them right after.
right
Yeah.
because you're just going, well, I know women kind of get wet to this type of romance shit, so I'll bring it up so that I can let her know I'm looking to fuck.
Oh, I feel like he's definitely trying to date.
If he's trying to date and he's in love with her, this is like a sad story of someone who doesn't know what they're doing.
Right. Would you keep a napkin of someone you were just trying to sleep with?
I just told you I wouldn't even say vows at my wedding.
Our story page is blank, under
Right.
construction. As
Forever.
Yes.
He did. It's either nerd who doesn't read the room well, or it's manipulative guy who's letting her know, like, hey, that kiss was great. Hint, hint.
Or it's very creepy.
That's the manipulative way is creepy.
Yeah.
The not realizing the temperature of the room is
Kind of sad.
sad.
Yeah.
You know?
Right, yeah. I would not be into this either. Even if I was, she was kind of on the fence, it seems. But even if I was like really into the guy, I would be like, this is like a lot. It's really getting rid of the mystery.
Right.
Again, it would be cute after like we'd already, in like hindsight.
After,
Like, just so you know, I saved a matchbook from the restaurant because like I
Right.
wanted to remember the date. Whatever.
we don't give out rules here, but to show someone their bodily fluids, you need to have exchanged bodily fluids. I think that's
Agreed.
a good rule here.
That's a good rule.
But I do see this and I was wondering, I was like, if I had sex with a woman and we were having a good time and then she was like, I have to tell you something. We had our first date. I kept this. I wouldn't know how to react. I'd be like, that's so sweet. I hope I would be at the same place they are.
Right. If you are, then it's fine.
Then it would be fine. But I would be,
Yes.
even then.
Then you'd be already.
Like
you
I
automatically-
reassess.
That's what I'm saying. You got to be like really secure in the
Right.
relationship to talk about the creepy thing. Like I think this goes for like stalking someone online too. Like it's okay to do. I don't care that he even took it. Like he
Right.
was into her. Like before I went go on a date with someone, or even after a first date, I might like stalk them, look at their Venmo,
Sure.
look at other shit. I'm not telling
Right.
them that.
Go to their house, look through the window.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
The whole
Bring binoculars,
Exactly.
masturbate in the tree,
Call all their friends.
call their friends,
Fine.
introduce yourself to their mom at the grocery
Screenshot
store.
their Instagram stories. Look
Yeah.
for people in the background.
Yeah.
Look up their profiles. I mean,
Yeah,
you,
there's no, you do so,
you do some creepy
little
things.
tiny
I've done
things.
some creepy stalking.
Right.
But I wouldn't tell someone about it
Smell their underwear.
until I felt secure with them. Until it was too late.
No, I'm with you. We're on the same page. This is a deal. But here's the only way I could imagine it. And if there were the fact that it lacks this screenshot means it didn't happen is I put it in my pocket afterwards. I don't even know why.
Right.
That's the only way
Look
to
what
get
I
out of
found.
this.
Yeah.
Let's do another
It's
one.
so weird. I found I was in the middle of a work presentation and whatever.
So weird. I sniff this every night before bed.
Gross. Okay. Their pickup line is asking you how much money you make. Backstory, I went out to a dancey bar with some girlfriends recently and everyone was having a good time and chatting around with people. One guy came up to me while I was ordering a drink and one of the first things he said to me was, "How much money do you make?" And then when I brushed it off, he wanted to guess. And then he wanted me to guess how much he made.
Ooh.
This was a very weird opener and I didn't really get his angle. Seemed like he was using it as a chance to tell me how much money he made. If that's the case and you want me to know your salary, which is still weird, then just tell me rather than playing this strange game. It was pretty off-putting. It was a deal breaker for me. Curious your thoughts on this interaction. Looking for gold digger.
I don't believe that they would be like cool with it the way they just said they would
I would
be
not
cool
be
with
cool
it.
with it.
Hey, what's up, little lady? Make about 80 grand. You into that? Kesha's awesome, isn't she?
Because it's a dancey bar.
Right, dancey bar.
Just dance up to you with her.
Hey,
Hey, I have. Could you pass me that? Because you passed me that drink here. Can you hold my copy of my W-2?
Ooh, got crushed with taxes last year.
It's a deal breaker.
It's a deal breaker.
course.
It's a fucking cheesy,
This is such a
loser,
lame thing. Yeah,
lame.
right.
How much do you make? I'll tell you how much I make if you tell me how much
It's the
you
first
make.
thing you say. Oh my
Right.
god, this is the tackiest thing I've ever read.
It's so tacky. This has Acme written all over it. Just
Yeah,
horrific. This is cringy.
this is gross. Yeah, I hate this.
Hey, what are you paying health insurance a month? Dancing.
How much do you put into your 401k?
Yeah, hey, you get the match? It's so stupid.
There are people like this out there. That's almost the more surprising thing.
Yeah, they listen to Nick Viall's podcast.
There you go. We want something we want nothing to do with, unless you'll have us on, in
Right.
which case we can issue a public apology. Okay.
Mid-sex, they bring up having kids with you someday.
Aw.
J&J have been seeing someone for about 2 months. He has to be exclusive 1 month ago. For reference, I am 27 female. He's 28 male, and it's going well. However, he recently said something that threw me. While we were having sex, as I'm riding him, he says we would make the cutest kids.
Okay.
That's a little. I was caught so off guard since we just started dating, and of course, the fact that he chose to say it as he was inside me. My response was something along the lines of, "Yeah, it would be cute and hairy," since we both have dark hair and a lot of it.
Okay.
This is the least sexy sex I've
This is
ever heard
very
in my
This
entire
is
life.
an awkward sex submission.
Right. I was trying to make a joke out of the situation because it was way too soon for me to hear something like that. I just can't imagine saying this to someone I just started dating. The next day we were taking a shower, and he said, "I know I'm gonna fall in love with you." It typically takes me several months to fall for someone while I'm really into him. I just don't know if our paces are too drastically different. So red flag or deal breaker, he tells you what cute kids you'd have during sex and when you've only been dating for 2 months.
Okay. To me, it appears this guy is looking for validation that she is into their situation.
Interesting. Yeah.
He has to be. They've been dating 2 months. He has to be exclusive 1 month in.
He's got a confidence issue.
And he's like very, very into her, and he's insecure, and so he's saying these things so he can, because she's not it doesn't sound like she's giving him that much,
Right.
so he's saying these things to like try to see where she's at.
Yeah. And honestly, the thing that like the second one kind of is weirder is the second one makes it more of an issue than the first one.
I know I'm gonna fall in love with you. Okay.
That's him like saying things that
Don't break my heart.
don't hurt me. That to me, when you back it up with that, you're like, I don't know if those things they obviously don't mean that much to him.
You think?
Like the kids thing is just said for what you said, for validation.
Right.
All he wants is validation.
And the second thing is also for validation.
Yes.
Like, what about you? I know I'm gonna fall in love with you.
Right.
And right.
But I think when you say those things, it means that they don't. All you want is the validation, not that you actually fall in love with them.
Right.
You know, like, and then you deal with that. To me, her heart is on the line more than his.
You think?
Well, to me, it sounds like, I don't know.
He seems very into her.
He seems into her, but I'm saying like none of those have consequences in the way for him that they might.
What do you think he should say if he's feeling insecure?
I'm enjoying your company. I don't know.
Imagining having sex with someone and I'm enjoying your company.
Well, not during sex. I'm really having a good time with you. I've said that to women.
Okay.
And I go, I'm really having a good time with you. And
he's trying to
end of
fast track
sentence.
this whole thing.
It feels like
exclusivity 1 month in is pretty quick too.
It's pretty quick. I mean, did he make the exclusivity?
Yeah. He said
he asked me. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
I think
she
it's a
might-
red flag.
It's not a deal breaker because you're like, she even says I like him
Right.
a lot, but you have to make sure, like, I would question, like, do you do this with a lot of women?
I would question that, but I also would ask yourself if you're giving him any sort of indication that you're interested.
Like, is he trying to bleed a stone type of thing?
Right. Like, is he just kind of moving the relationship forward and you're not really giving much or seeming like they're not into him, although you've agreed to be exclusive. But are you like, maybe what he needs is for you to say, I like you.
Right. A little validation.
And she could
he's
even
going
say, like,
too hard.
Right. She could even say, I like you. Like, I feel like it seems like you're not sure if I'm into you or not. I'm very into you. I do feel like some of the things you say are like a little much for where we are.
Right. And he might get more insecure from that.
He might.
You know, like
Right.
it's
But if she else, but maybe he'll say, I'm just not really sure where you stand. You don't really give me that much. Like, and I know you think our children would be hairy. I don't know if that means you like me or not. Like,
right. There's a menu item of things that this could be. I think what they need to be aware of, like, he's not getting much from you. He's very insecure. This is how he dates. He love bombs someone into liking him, and then he makes decisions.
yeah.
You know, there's like
That's another way. That's
right.
another
There's just a
possibility.
lot of different things that this could be that she needs to, like, hey, we got to have a talk.
Yeah.
That is just in
Because
reality.
he's saying these things for a reason. He wants something.
Right. Like, if that's why my first thought is, like, he's saying these things like it doesn't matter to him. Maybe it does. And
Maybe it does. I don't think it would be a crazy idea. I mean, he did ask her for exclusivity, so clearly he like is invested in this relationship.
right. Jordana,
Just a red flag
We
for me.
saw a red flag for me. Solve dating again. We
We did it. Proud of us.
Another week, another dating savior that we are.
We did it. And if anyone who's listening feels like they've been helped, or they should, not be dating someone much younger than them, or they want to come on and refute mean things that were said about them, they're welcome to come on the show.
Open invitation. We love a guest. And we'll be back on Sunday.
The U Up podcast is produced by Sean Kilby, Maddie Paul, and Jorge Morales Pico. Editing by Jorge Morales Pico. Social media by Maddie Paul. Be sure to follow at u.up.podcast on Instagram and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.